first impression of NBA competition?
Yeah.
That people in the NBA are really good.
So, Scottie Barnes is an interesting player to say the least. Between his funny moments off the court and sometimes on the court, he's easily becoming one of the NBA's best personalities, which is a crazy combo to have when you're also a star player on the rise. I mean, it gets to a point where being such a naturally likable personality off the court can sometimes overshadow how you've been playing. And that's why I'm making this video, because besides all of that, the man is genuinely becoming a very dangerous player and establishing himself as one of the better forwards in the league. And I feel like it's easy to miss this reality when he's distracting everyone with his funny side. I mean, literally, if you go to the YouTube search box and type in his name, nearly all of the recommended searches have nothing to do with his game. Like, bro, look at this. You got autism, Scottie Barnes screaming, slow compilations, and more of the sort. I can't make this up. Please go check for yourselves after the vid or something. Now, clearly, this is all jokes. I mean, I highly doubt there's a group of people out there who really think this man is autistic. But still, man, them recommended searches just don't reflect the guy who is truly hooping at an incredible level this season. Come on now. I need to be seeing recommended searches like Scottie Barnes mixtape, poster dunk, or game winner, because these are all things he's done or doing. So yeah, in this video, we're gonna highlight his performance this season, the growth over the years in his game, although it's still pretty early, and you know, to some extent, the Raptors season in general, especially after the solid new additions of RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly, and the likes. So yeah, y'all go ahead and let me know in the comments, man. Are you a believer in Scottie Barnes? How good do you think he is, or his ceiling is? And yeah, man, really quick before I go any further, what's up YouTube? Plug Speaks, back with another video. If you're new, go ahead and sub. Also like the video if you enjoy. I upload quality basketball content and we're on the grind for 5K, so I most definitely appreciate it. But back to the vid though. Now, let me begin this by simply acknowledging some things that, I mean, anyone who's not really a Raptors fan and just deeply invested in this roster might not know, such as the fact that this man Scottie Barnes is a first from his deep 2021 draft class that had the likes of Jalen Green, Cade, Evan Mobley, Cam Thomas, and more to have an all-star appearance. And even though he was a substitute, it's still impressive, and there's no doubt, you know, most people would have assumed someone else would be the first from his class, including myself, because just think about it. We're talking about a third-year player, only 22 years old, and the opportunity on the Raptors is there, but it's even more so there on a team like the Pistons or the Rockets, where they're just not that good this season. But yeah, man, this recognition among the league's best players is something that Scottie earned and can credit to the leap he's taken over the years. You see, in the 57 games he's played this season, he's averaging 20 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, and a block on 48% shooting from the field and 35% shooting from three. Just super solid as far as efficiency and numbers. Like, we're talking about career highs across the board. And this game is truly just as versatile as the stats make it seem, if not more, because he's a capable scorer, you know, major threat in the paint. He has somewhat of a mid-range jumper, and he's a growing threat from three, which is really what's been taking his game to that next level. Then he's also got that special passing ability. He's a willing and capable defender. He is not scared to jump with the likes of Zach LaVine, Mac McClung. I'm just talking about players that we know get down like that in the paint when it comes to dunking. And yeah, overall, Scottie Barnes is just really, really well-rounded. And if I could just go back to the pre-draft analysis that was done on him in 2021 by ESPN's experts, and if I look at his strengths and his improvement areas, I'll put it on the screen. It's crazy to look at this, because it's like, damn. If anything, his strengths, he just continued to excel in, if not improve. And then his improvement areas, he's starting to eliminate his flaws year after year, or at least we can see the improvement is growing. Because, I mean, look at this. Unnatural shooting stroke with unproven results. Oh yeah, okay. I mean, we can see that in his first year in the NBA, he shot 30% from three on less than 3 attempts per game. Then his second year in the league, once again, shooting a poor 28% from three on less than 3 attempts per game. Okay, but then this year, he's shooting 35% from three on a very solid 5 attempts per game. I mean, at this point, you're somewhat proven. Like, he's becoming more so of that proven shooter, someone that can be relied upon to knock down threes. And look, I'm not trying to make it seem like this man's coming down tween hezzy, pull up threes, step backs off the dribble, as if he's Steph, Damian Lillard, Trey, or one of those, long range tough shot makers. But he doesn't need to do all that. And like I said, I'm just pointing out the fact that we can see improvement in the areas. And let me also say, I would be lying if I pretended as if all of his threes this season are coming off the catch and shoot. There actually are some of these shots coming off the dribble like a step back, which has been surprising me. And let me tell you, if that becomes a consistent thing, bye-bye, it's gonna be scary hours for sure. But moving on, I want to get into Scottie Barnes' play this season in relation to how the Toronto Raptors have been playing this season as a whole, which if you've been paying any attention, you already know is not very great. But even as I get into that, let me go ahead and say or comment on one thing, because I see how some NBA fans are. When you got a player who's averaging 20, he might be playing well, especially if this is a breakout year or for the first time in their career, such as Scottie Barnes, but the team isn't really playing well. Y'all like to put a little label on them, man. Y'all did it, or they did it to Devin Booker on the Phoenix Suns for years, and I can see people trying this with Scottie. And if what I'm referring to isn't obvious yet, I'm talking about the label of empty stats. But let me go ahead and say, or of a player putting up empty stats. But again, let me go ahead and say, you cannot put this label on Scottie Barnes, even though the Raptors have an underwhelming record this season. And that's because they're playing poorly due to a wide variety of things that, some of which have nothing to do with them. I mean, for one, this team has gone through a lot of restructuring in the past year and this season. I mean, you got to think about them losing Fred VanVleet to free agency when he signed with the Rockets. And everybody knows Fred VanVleet became the player who he is today, and, all-star level, respectable player on the Raptors. So obviously losing him, it's going to hurt you a little bit. Then beyond that, Pascal Siakam, finally knowing to let go of him and his stagnant progress after showing us a sneak peek of pretty much nothing in the 2019 NBA Finals when they won the chip. I'm like, damn, my boy, you still holding on to that spin move? Then you got Dennis Schroeder, who obviously they picked up this past offseason, but he didn't do too much for them this season. His numbers were kind of subpar and wasn't really affecting winning, so they got rid of him by the end of the NBA trade deadline. So yeah, you got all of that going on. How you expect to just be winning on a consistent basis? And then we ain't even touched the fact that their defense is just really subpar and kind of crappy this season. They allow 117 points per game and are the 20th best defense out of the 30 teams in the NBA. You got to do better. So yeah, it's really just a multitude of things, and you got to give it time. I believe as this roster is presently constructed after new additions of RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley, who actually have been playing pretty well, I just believe after, everybody plays together, you get a consistent basis running, we're going to start seeing some wins with the Toronto Raptors. And that's why I say the Raptors being 21-36 this season is something that you cannot put solely on the shoulders of Scottie Barnes. Point blank simple. And it's also why I say the man Scottie Barnes is special in more than one way, besides the funny way. But yeah, y'all, that's about it for this video. I really appreciate y'all watching as always. Let me know in the comments how you feel about him defeating the slow allegations and just how good you see him becoming down the line. But that's about it. Appreciate y'all. Like the sub, share it, sub if new, all of that. And I'm out.